Good morning, right? Welcome to Market Boys with Edmundo, Xzabko, and Andres. We got some good stuff going on this week, right?
Oh yeah,
Interesting things.
News, and more news.
Xzabko was talking about what happened at the airport.
DHS.
If you want to travel, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, they was talking about something was going on in Atlanta where you might have to sit there for a while, maybe even
New York and Houston
bring a
too.
pillow and a comforter.
New Jersey's 5-6 hours, easy.
Brutal.
Just to get in.
But it's the first time in the history, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, when a section of the government cannot be funded. Just a section of the government. So the Democrats don't want to lose funding because of the, as they call, savage deportation methods.
Yeah.
They call them that way. And what happened with Senator Kennedy? You were telling me about.
That was very interesting when he was at the House of Senate.
Kennedy, just for our folks
from
here.
Louisiana. President Kennedy, Senator Kennedy.
Yeah.
Senator Kennedy, I'm sorry. And pretty much he was exposing the case. And his proposal actually passed the Senate unanimously, right? Everybody voted forward for that. And he was presented to the House. Keep in mind, this was not affecting the House. The House is kind of like exempt from it. It was just any senator and congressman. The vote is like while the government is shut down, right? The senators and congressmen will also withhold their checks.
That's a great idea.
Which makes sense, right?
Of course.
Because everybody is sharing the burden.
Exactly.
Correct? It's not that the money is going away,
So
right?
if the government is closed, shut down, they call it, no legislator gets a penny.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's not that the money is going away. Once everything reopens, they will get their payments back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's and he was very open and he said, "Listen, you know what? We have some senators that have done very well. They have multi-million-dollar homes and that's respectful. But there are also some senators that they live out of the paycheck. Right.
Right.
It's $170,000 a year, and for some people, some of them might not be a lot, but some of them that's their livelihood. And he was conscious of that. But at the same time, he said, well, there is 250,000 people that is also depending on those paychecks and they're going to work and they're not receiving that. And they say, well, we need to share the burden as we are employees of the government and we have to come and resolve that thing. And we have to share also the burden. And it makes a lot of sense, per se. The interesting part is like when he was presenting that, some of the members, I don't want to say the party or anything, objected.
You can guess, guys.
Right, objected and walked away.
Oh, really?
So by walking away, he stole the whole process. Even his petition got stolen, got turned down because he's like, the person is not here. This cannot move forward.
In other words, if there are not enough amount of representatives or senators present, the session cannot continue. Therefore, they cannot vote.
Not necessarily that. It's like if the person that objected, it's not there, right? Everything stalls.
Right.
Oh,
so it's a strategic
interesting.
shot.
So it's like
it's a strategic technique to keep everything.
It's like the filibuster.
on standby.
correct. So he was very frustrated. Like, can you explain me this? The president of the House, right? He was there, and you can hear that there is the assistant, right, giving him the instructions like why he cannot continue, and the guy's like, no, you can't continue. He's like, but like this person, I mean, I heard a shout, and what we can do is like nothing.
So basically, they can keep hostage 250,000 American workers, but they are not willing to share the burden. That's the idea here.
I mean,
they are playing politics with the
vote,
livelihoods of many.
The funny
many
thing is that the
families.
vote passed unanimously, right? So Democrats and conservatives, right, and both
Republicans.
of them, Republicans. Thank you. They voted towards that.
Towards
But-
what? To the resolution?
To the resolution that, you know what, they're not going to get paid as long as this thing is in process and the
But
government
is
is
this
shut
going
down.
to be a law or a declaration or a
Well,
resolution?
there is a proposal to, once he passed the House, right, it can be applied.
Right.
So when he got to the House and he was presenting it to the House, they sabotaged it.
So
Right.
this happens.
like-
This
Exactly.
happened at the House.
Because they
Correct.
knew that was the last stop.
my
Yeah, the last stop, right? And the House is listening to it like, well, somebody rejected it, somebody walked away, so nothing we can do about it.
Exactly.
Folks,
And so
when you
now
vote
how
for
do we
somebody,
resolve it?
remember that. Huh?
Now, what's the next step? So since he said objection, and he ran away so he can stall the whole process, what's the next step now?
he could not continue. So
So, but furthermore, like down the road. Oh, sorry, down the road.
yeah, I mean, like he will have to present again. Everything gets stalled, nothing happens. He cannot continue. He has to like pretty much go back to like the beginning.
Wow, and
That reminds
that could take
me,
a month,
you know,
2 months.
This
Yeah, I
dirty.
mean, like it's
that's-
just like it's a very
Yeah.
dirty way to
That's
like
horrible.
taking it down. And the thing is, like it's recorded. I mean, you can go see it.
Right.
House of Senate.
we will see if we can get
So
the clip
now
for you.
we need to come up with a new rule that says, okay, if you object, you have to remain there. Right?
Probably.
Well,
I
the
don't know.
rules and regulations inside the Senate and the representatives are different. So
Well, I
we'll
mean,
see.
come on, that's
This is
low
not the
down,
This
dirty.
is not the first time.
That's
This
a
is
low
not the
down,
first
dirty
time.
tactic, and I think it need to be resolved.
That is
and so
correct.
we know that it is a tactic, and so therefore you can't do that with impunity, right? You can't.
Oh yeah, you can. You can.
Well, we need to change it.
You
That's,
can.
That's my point.
No, you can. You can do it
Yeah.
with total impunity, and there are a lot of cases in history. You can do it with
They're
impunity.
doing that. Yeah, they do it purpose.
It's
It's a
horrible.
tactical,
Nothing
but
happened.
they just.
By the
it's
way,
crazy.
see, if you want to follow things that happens in investment, the market, and trading, how many just aides to the Senate or Congress in general made a lot of money. There is even a website that follows the Nancy Pelosi or the Pelosi family.
Oh,
See,
gosh,
and
yeah.
that's what I was going to touch base on with the money idea.
So you tell me you
of
cannot
holding
get
back
away?
their money, their paycheck, like they care, because there's actual websites that show senators and or House representatives or whoever
Oh, yeah.
that are official that are
yeah.
making hand over fist money in the market
Oh, yeah.
because they have complete and direct influence.
Pelosi's
over it.
portfolio was up like 80-something% last year.
Wow.
80.
I would like to be an aide.
I want to be Nancy Pelosi.
Well,
She had a
no,
good spot.
I mean,
She had a good spot.
she's kind of. I wouldn't like to be her.
Yeah,
I would like
she's
to be
stressed out.
me. I mean,
You know, a lot of people want to see her fall because of that. You know, her control, her power, her resources. She's been using it to her advantage, to her and her family's advantage. She created a lot of
Well,
enemies.
well, you're making, how you say, statements. You should say.
am.
You should say would, could,
Aha.
maybe, I think, blah blah. We have
Yeah.
our friends in YouTube that are not very kind with this kind of
True.
statements.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing to get into perspective, right? At the end of the day, it's like
Right.
when the government was established, right, and the founding fathers put in place the government and things like that. I mean, serving in government was an honorable thing, right? It's a honorable thing to do, and through the years, it just became a career of enrichment instead of a career of service. And the foundation was for serve.
If you read the Constitution, it said we establish a government. So the government is established by the people.
People and for the people.
The government is not establishing the people. So it should work that way, but also has a lot to do with sorry folks, I will lose so many clients after I said this.
He cannot hold himself.
The intellectual abilities of the voters, you know. There are voters that really you should ask yourself, can this person vote? Winston Churchill has a great phrase about that. If you want to know democracy, the only thing you need to see is the average voter and listen to him or her for 5 minutes. Because it's very interesting how public service is for the takes. It's like a bunch of buccaneers, you know? It's kind of
Correct.
not every public servant, not every public servant, but the level is alarmingly low.
Correct. And I mean, history repeats itself, right? Because when you go back in time and look at probably one of the greatest empires of all time, the Roman Empire, right? Probably the best Caesar was Marcus Aurelius, per se, right? and when they have so much fluctuation in the Roman Empire, it flourish. But the strategy was played out after the next 5 Caesars, right? It was strategically because it was not through bloodline, but through merit. And for those 5 Caesars, there was flourishing in the Roman Empire, and it was peace. Actually, like after Marcus Aurelius' death, Antonius Pius is the person who proclaimed continues the system, and he follows the doctrine of Marcus Aurelius. And it was the years where it was most peace in the Roman Empire. Interesting, right? But decades start to deteriorate, right? Start crippling in power, ambition, maintaining the control of the frontiers, because it was a system, an economic system based on slavery, right? You need to maintain so much power. You need bodies to be able to sustain.
Well, the real cause of the Roman Empire, there are many works about that, but the real case of every single, yes, I said every single empire in the face of the earth is the economy. Everything is the economy, right?
Sure.
And you see that
Cheap labor.
The Roman Empire, the currency was the denarius. And the denarius at the beginning in the Republic times before Caesar, it was a piece of silver, simply. Silver, pure silver. And every generation that passed through, there has less silver. That equals to what today we will say printing money. And the taxes. By the end of the Western Roman Empire, by the end of Rome, for the farmers in the empire, that was much more palatable to pay 10, 20% to the Goths, Visigoths, and Vandals, the barbarians, than 45, 50% to the emperor. It's a matter of numbers. The fixing the prices, which is protectionism, inflation, which is the devaluation of their currency, and taxation. That sounds familiar, my friends. And you can see that in the Roman Empire, the Syrian Empire, the Egyptians, is the economy. It's
So what was
the British Empire? Wow.
But regards to taxation, Ed, I mean, like, there is something that in 1970 changed the narrative of taxation, because precious metals, right? It was considered a value of trade. Like you say, silver, right? Gold, things like that. But we don't produce gold. We don't produce silver, right? We just gotta go on whatever is by nature already
No, we
established.
produce a lot of gold
We
and silver.
we need to extract it, right?
Yeah,
and generate it.
Yeah.
But like we cannot make silver out of thin air per se.
Exactly.
Right? So, but in 1970, something very interesting happened, because that economic basis of foundation has been there for generations, for thousands of years. But in the 70s, the American government decided to, instead of just backing up by gold, they're going to start printing money.
Well, in 1970, you're talking about the famous speech
And
by
the birth of fiat began.
Nixon, 1971,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah, well, the dollar was tied to the gold at the ratio of $35 per ounce of gold. But the Great Society of Lyndon Johnson, I mean, the government started expanding, like the Romans, in the Roman citizens, of the city of Rome, and the deficits were accumulating. So either they adjust the cash, let's say at home we will call it, you only expend what you make, or they get rid of gold, because many people was using the dollars to trade for gold, and that began to deplete the reserves. Confidence in the dollar.
So two things happened, right? So that is the switch until, okay, the ability of the government to just print money out of thin air. Okay, they need more money, they just print money. Okay? So...
but there is a correction there. That's for not for you. I know you know it, and Xzabko too, but for our friends over there, they must say what they are talking about. The moment Andres is describing is the moment in which the dollar was backed by the gold. Starting that time, they didn't print money. They print paper, obligations, backed by the full faith of the government.
Correct.
Not anymore backed by gold. So when you see a dollar in your hand, what you're seeing is a promise backed by nothing.
Well,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
had credit back then too. So
What?
they had credit. This is where futures first began, right? Like the cycles of
Oh
profit.
no, futures began back in Holland with tulips.
Tulips, yeah.
Back in then,
17th
right?
century,
So it's buying of a product, and that futures is something that is applied especially on agriculture, right?
Indeed.
You buy the crops and you buy futures on expecting of
Oil.
Essentially
oil.
credit, right? So yeah, they're going to pay once the crop comes in, right?
correct if they come, right? That's one of the things that happens. But going back to this scenario, right? So in the early 70s, obviously Vietnam War is going on, all these things, and then they found a way. Okay, now we can create paper, right? Through paper, we can print money. We don't have to back it up by gold anymore. So technically speaking, the government now has the ability to print money against debt with not a withholding back, right? So if the government has the ability to print money as they need, what is the need for taxes?
Because of the inflation, you cannot print as much money as you want. The one who learned the hard way, the lesson, was Jimmy Carter. Because Nixon got rid of the gold standard, but the printing was just a little. And then he came Gerald Ford, and Gerald Ford keep it to a minimum. But the Jimmy Carter, in 1976, he was elected president, they accelerated the print. My God. Even it's already 75, 76, you can see the inflation. But by the time that Ronald Reagan was president in 1981, January 1981, the inflation was, I think, mortgages were like 17%. Yeah, the mortgage that you pay today is 6, 7.
Not only that, is the growth, like the growth on real estate, the growth on everything. If you look at the curves, right, from 1920, okay, to 1980, 1976, pretty much steady.
Oh yeah.
From there, when the woman had the ability to start just printing on paper, it just blew up. Everything blew up.
Well, this is something. Milton Friedman has a beautiful book, very recommendable, guys. Money Mischief, very interesting, and he put the case over there in which the stability of the currency they used to call when gold was the standard, the dictatorship of the producers. I mean, the industry, for example, the railroads, metalworks, commerce was the one that dictates the economy, basically. Now, the moment they abandon the gold standard, now is what they call the dictatorship of the financiers, the banks, private lenders.
The Fed, what? Oh.
The Fed, no, yeah.
The Fed, what?
We had to have a class
yeah.
about
Right.
how money is created. It's amazing.
Absolutely, and how it
Debt.
trades. Yes, debt, understanding
system.
debt, the debt system.
It's only created by debt. So that's it. So people give it value. If people didn't give it value,
Well, during Jimmy
Zero.
Carter, they had to print bonds, always print bonds to finance debt, to finance government operations, nominated in Swiss francs. We arrived to that point in which you have to nominate the bonds in Swiss francs because the confidence in the dollar went rock bottom. It was the only time in American history.
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Crazy. So you see, like through history, right? Even from Roman empires to even today, right? It's a cycle that can like repeat itself.
vicious cycle.
Very vicious cycle. That is correct. So I mean, we'll see what this takes us, right?
I wonder, what was the downfall of the Roman Empire? What do you guys believe it was?
1453 when Constantinople finished.
Okay.
That
The
was
fall
the
of
last
Constantinople.
Roman emperor.
So it was a lot of issues, not just one associated. I think that was just they divided the Roman Empire, Western and Eastern, right? So Constantinople was in charge of the eastern part of it, and they were running out of resources. What is Carpia? No, the one in Africa. This tribe, this empire,
Numids.
Carpians. I forgot. Okay, so anyway, they needed to expand, right? But expand is
As always.
expensive,
Exactly.
right? And remember, there's no technology like today, right? They will have to move troops across Europe, across Asia, across Africa.
And that costs
Talks
money.
about- right? The generals who hold those troops, right? They also happens to be the wealthiest people in Rome, right? So they have military power, but they also have the financial power. In Rome times, that's how they seek glory,
Right. So-
glory, that control of power.
So when we say expand,
You
what
mean
we're
like
really,
now?
What we're really saying is,
You mean like now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
when we say expand, we're saying conquer.
Correct.
Other
Conquer,
lands,
right?
right?
And also they would do trades, borderlines. If you look back, like North Hungary, Romania, all that area, on those mountains, there are very
Romania.
Yeah, there is a very strong warrior. I would say tribes, right? And they used to fight or fight with the Romans.
The
but
barbarians.
Well, barbarian was anyone who wasn't Roman. That's the thing. Was
Indeed.
anyone who wasn't Roman. But the biggest
Or less
threat,
sophisticated.
correct? Yeah. Well, for them, what that just means,
They
right?
were just barbarians, guys living in, a civilization living off the land, and that was their resources. They wasn't quite technologically advanced when it comes down to, farming, building structures and things of that nature, right?
Absolutely.
Right. There's no landmarks and there's no monuments.
Exactly. But it was a bigger threat that came from the east, and it was Attila the Hun.
Ah,
That's
Indeed.
that's what cripples Rome.
Indeed.
Right? Because
Right.
they were fearsome. They were very good riders with the archers, right?
Right.
They move very fast.
Fast.
But their intention wasn't to colonize. They will just take and destroy and
they just
take
want to
out,
enrich themselves
right?
on the move.
While the Rome was different. Rome will take in, colonize, have the people in the land
were nomads,
working
but,
and
in
pay
fact-
taxes.
In fact, the Romans paid several times Attila to stay in Pannonia,
Exactly.
which today is Hungary. But again, it's the same problem: money.
They couldn't afford to pay him anymore.
and that was
Because
like
of the economy,
Mm-hmm.
the economy was crippled by
Indeed.
protection,
Yeah.
expenses, credit, and devaluation
Right.
caused by inflation.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So all of these features took place.
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
the
I read
destruction.
the name Carta.
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 You're talking about Carthage.
Carthage. That's right.
Carthage.
It's Carthage.
But that was
Yeah.
from the beginning of the Roman Empire.
Who was the
Yeah.
who
Hannibal?
was-
Hannibal.
Hannibal. Yes.
Hannibal, yeah, across the Alps.
Oh, he came in. He was a force to be reckoned with. Right now, to this day, he's known as the most intellectual general that pretty much, came up with some great battle strategies to pretty much dismantle Roman armies.
Yeah, I mean, he did
Amazing.
the unthinkable, right? Especially because Carthage is in Africa, right? So how he moved the troops out through the border of Spain, went up through the Alps, and came down to the gates of Rome.
Right.
That was unheard of, right? And an unstoppable force that just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Right.
And
Lost a lot of men on that mountain.
correct. But what they did, what is the name of that? I forgot the name. He came from barbarian tribe from the east, Hungarian Romans, and he's the one actually that took Rome down.
Right.
No Hannibal, but it was like maybe
Weakened.
500, 400s.
Well,
Alarico, 476.
I think so, yeah.
he weakened their resolve.
Well, you know that is very, very interesting. When the city of Rome fall, 476 AD, the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, he gave the mantle and the attributes of the emperor. He sent them to Constantinople.
Yeah.
That's why some people say that the Roman Empire finished with the fall of Rome. No, sir.
Right.
Rome finished in 1453 when Constantinople was conquered by the Turks.
Right.
Correct.
Right. And so, these guys were very arrogant. Rome was very arrogant. The Caesar at the time they looked at Hannibal like, dude, we're Rome. Okay, we will squash you.
Correct.
And so we have to think, okay, with Iran and U.S. and Pakistan offering to be a mediator with all this stuff that's going on with the war,
Peace is always welcome. That's my opinion of it. Peace is always welcome.
we need to probably take a look at that, right?
Eventually, I think eventually we need to do that. I think that there was there were talks for way too long, right? And
since 1979,
this regiment played the long game too long with the same narrative of yes, 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 and they doing the opposite on the back.
Right.
That reminds me
Now
of
the people on that land, right? Regardless, I mean, let's put the nuclear bombs on the side, all the stuff, all the threats, right, to the world. Like the people on that land, right? They've known the oppression, right? I mean, they were revolting in January, right? Over 30 people were killed. They were not revolting. What the people are revolting is not because they just don't feel like they don't have nothing to do, right? It's because they're starving. It's because they know that they see now that what they vote for, what they believe on, is not the reality.
Sorry that I behave like a cynic.
Sure, you are.
It's all about yes, of course. It's all about the economy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened in Egypt in the Arab Spring. Remember, Egypt, Libya, Tunis, Syria. It's happening in Iran. When there is a statistic that you can consult, no problem. Let me know if I'm wrong. When a household has to expend more than half of the income in food, you have a revolution. Statistics.
Yep.
So I love the republic we have. Being said that, remember that it's all about the money. If people doesn't have money in the pocket, they revolt. So this romantic idea that people is fighting for their freedom, might be some portion of the population. But the traction to change the system or the traction comes from the economic conditions. It's up to us to take advantage of it or not. Also, it's an internal problem of Iran. I'm not very prompt to make a military intervention for an internal problem, right? Mm-hmm. Here we are playing the choking game.
Yeah, I mean, think about in 3 months, right? We're talking about Venezuela, Norway.
Norway?
With Norway, with Greenland.
You're talking about the choking points.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, you might like it or not. Now, I will give you a couple of facts.
You might.
Yeah. If you imagine the planet, let's see if we can get a map for this. The traffic, what is the economic traffic going through? Right now, the main artery is the Panama Canal. There used to be 2 Chinese companies handling the entrance and the exit, or
Correct.
vice versa. Now they are in American hands.
That was the first.
Reasons.
That was the first strike, right?
Exactly.
Just
Check
put
one.
Panama in order. Boom.
Check one. You control Panama, you control the traffic. Second point, choking point in the Americas, Alaska. The farthest northern route that some part of the year is open because of the ice. To take that route, you have to enter or exit through Alaska. Who controls Alaska? We do. Mm-hmm. And the second is the exit Greenland. That's why when this guy is talking about Greenland, it's the 5th time we try to take Greenland. I mean, the guy's not crazy. There's something about that. Greenland. The passage between Canada and Greenland, the passage between Greenland and Iceland, and in between Iceland and Scotland. We got that under control. What is the next passage? The southern tip of South America. Argentina and Chile are American allies. Check. The passage through the Sinai.
The Nile.
No,
the Red Sea.
The Red Sea. The Red Sea is where the Houthis are, and the Americans bomb the Houthis to death, more or less. Mm-hmm. They are making threats, but, well, it's under control. What is the last choking point. And the Singapore Strait, an ally. Check. The next passage is Hormuz. So if you think it, the American government is in control of 100% of the commercial passages of the world.
Yeah.
So this is not just, the guy is crazy.
Not only that,
You can like it or not, but it's not.
that keeps firm something called the petrodollar.
Exactly.
Right?
That gives you
'Cause
control.
That's all these ventures of countries or even China saying, okay, we're gonna form this.
The Suez Canal, sorry, I
the
forgot.
Suez Canal too as well.
They're allies
We're gonna
also,
form
check.
all these alliances to create a currency that's gonna fight the American dollar. Right? What makes it so strong is that when they start the exploitation of Arab oil, one of the agreements was that they will make the dollar as the currency of exchange for all the oil.
Right.
That will bring so much power. So controlling that is what keeps control of everything.
Yeah, but in the prior administration, there were kind of problems with the Saudi Arabians, especially when you call the royal family murderers.
Yeah.
You have problems in that relate. And they made a couple of deals in Chinese yuan. And also has a lot to do with the dollar. If the dollar is backed by gold, you don't have to worry about anyone competing with you, because it's technically impossible to compete with the stronger currency in the world when it's backed by gold. But when your currency is backed by nothing,
That's
and you have years and years of inflation and currency manipulation, the same thing we accuse the Chinese of doing, then yes, you have to be worried about the preeminence of the dollar as reserve currency.
But I think Andres was talking about the passage of the dollar, right? Like how it's being able to move, right? If you don't have things in place strategically where, you have to gravitate towards the dollar, there's no point in even trying to compete against the dollar unless you have all of these means in place.
Compete against the dollar, what do you mean by that?
So they're creating monies or currency backed by oil, right?
Well, they cannot back it by oil because right now the currency that it's trade worldwide for oil is dollar. Period. There is no
Exactly.
other one. So they're just trying to create things to disturb it.
Yeah, but you can create
dominating.
a currency backed by basically whatever you want. You can create a currency backed by coal,
Okay.
by oil,
Hey,
by
what is the dollar
feathers,
backed
if
by
you
right
want.
now?
Nothing.
Air.
Sorry. I didn't say that, okay? By the full faith
of
of
the
the
government.
government.
So therefore, who's the power of the planet? What's the power and force of the planet?
It's a matter of consensus.
Yes.
As long as we accept the dollar will have a value because it's magical value, right? That's why gold was so important in the backing of the currency.
Yeah, that's why you see when you see the Arab nations, right? Bahrain, Qatar, the Emirates Arabs, right? You're gonna call it. The big producers of oil, but they all went into an agreement, right? With the United States, even Venezuela, right? It's international agreement that the currency that is used to exchange oil is the American dollar.
Yeah, the petrodollar agreement.
That's what they call the petrodollar, right? It's the dollar is based on that oil. And it's interesting, like you see there's some nations in the Middle East that they knew like how much production they will have on oil. So they cannot like sustain it for example, let's say in the next 20, 30 years. So they develop other ways of commerce and technology and they flourishing towards that.
Here, see, this is where I don't agree with my friend here. They did not develop. They open the free market. They give the case Dubai, for example, Qatar, and there are many of those. Like Oman. Oman was an extremely poor country in the 70s. The only thing they did is because they have the oil and they have the money,
So was Qatar.
They allow Qatar. They allow the market forces to go through freedom of commerce, freedom of commerce.
Correct.
And I
No,
say it
but
again.
what I'm saying is not only on the freedom of commerce. It's like some of these countries still have some freedom of commerce, but they rely mostly right on the production of oil, right, to sustain a lot of things.
No doubt.
Where there are, I gotta go and do my research because I don't remember the name of the country per se. It's one of the biggest producers of oil in the world, but they know that their reserves, right, they're not going to be for 100 years. So they slowly, what they did is using the oil to invest in a couple of things like education, right, artificial intelligence, other ways of commerce that they can trade with them, agriculture, even in the desert, right, agriculture
Economic
to
trade.
economic trade, but there is not solely dependent on oil. And now they are oil free.
Yeah, well, the taxation, you have the taxation in those countries. You're talking about the Gulf Emirates and kingdoms. Say Kuwait, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, come to Dubai, Habibi.
I think it's Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi could be, yeah.
It's Abu Dhabi.
Gas and oil, yes. But they open their economies, the taxation is extremely low. So capital flows to where it's treated best. Do you prefer to pay 40% in Italy or 10% in Dubai?
Right. Or what is going on in England, right? I mean, like
This is not a
the
commercial.
billionaires are
to go to
leaving and
Dubai.
they're just moving out there, and they're like, you know
Right.
what? I don't have to pay all these taxes.
The English money is in Ireland paying 15%, not 30.
Right.
Yep.
But hey, what happens when they build it? What happens when it's completely built and the economy begins to flourish? That 10% begins
The
to go
economy is flourishing.
over time, though, right? When people start migrating there more often. Yeah. More people, more resources, more money.
Also, they have very strict laws about security enforcement, border enforcement, immigration. They are terrible.
More problems.
So, my friends, those of you, yes, and I know who are you, and you are know who you know me, that criticize certain enforcement immigration policies, but at the same time you admire Dubai, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Think of that.
So
I mean, they try to be an illegal in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So
Good luck with that.
a diplomatic source said Pakistan is in conversation with both the U.S. and Iran and is well posed to play an active role in discussion to the end of the war.
Well, Iran asked for a meeting with the American government or any mediator because Trump gave them 48 hours to open Hormuz or face total energetic destruction.
Right. So
And now Trump gave them 5 days more.
he agreed to this, and he gave him
Yeah.
5 days. Right. Pakistan 5 days to come up with some sort of agreement to get these two together. Right. Or get both our countries together.
We'll see.
Let's see what happens.
We hope that peace win the moment, and let's finish with this. This is terrible.
The novella
Oh, yeah.
continues.
Yeah,
The soap opera continues.
completely terrible. So let's switch over to something more interesting and fun to talk about instead of
Okay.
destruction of our countries, right? And
Oh, fly me to the moon.
yeah. So NASA has came up with an idea of creating a moon base.
A moon base?
That's going to
Not
be
the first time, by the way.
Not the first time. Yeah, they say it's already up there.
Might
On the
be.
dark side of the moon, right? So, $20 billion project to construct a moon base.
$20 billion project.
20 billion, big old B.
Who's going to pay for that?
Well, NASA, but
No,
of course the government. It's government
The
funded.
government doesn't pay for anything. When
Well,
you say
yeah.
government funded, what you mean is we
Definitely,
people,
definitely, we're going to pay.
we
for
are
it.
going to pay for all these
Yeah.
things. It's not, there's no free lunch.
Right.
So I don't want to. I don't care about a base
Yeah.
on the moon. Really,
I think that has to
But
be like private funded.
we can talk with Elon.
Yeah.
we're talking about NASA
I think
here.
that he's the one who's gonna put the money for that. So.
Possibly, I would if I was him.
I would.
Oh, he's going to do that.
That way, I'm
I
completely in
wouldn't
control.
I
of
mean,
it.
in fact, you guys didn't see that when he offers it. He say, I think it was in Houston, or Dallas, like on the airport. It's like, okay, I will pay $10 million to all the DHA's employees while this thing is going on because it's unfair that they are suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. The TSA, my God.
$10 million a
control
day,
the
he would say, I will
airports.
pay. So to make sure that salaries are paid out for all these people.
But Trump said that he was going to send ICE to the airports.
Yeah, but
In fact, they
not wearing
arrest
masks.
a couple of
He
people
also makes
already
that.
in
It's
the
like, no,
airport.
they should not be wearing masks in the airport, but he wants to put the airport up.
I can't
More
believe
like
they're still
assisting.
wearing masks.
Right?
But Elon Musk, $20 billion is like walking apart. Right? Why not?
I don't know if it's a walk in the park, but I mean, his goal is not the moon. His goal
It's
is
an
Mars.
idea.
It's
He's
not
get
a
very-
walk in the park.
Or we can ask Mr. Soros.
He is worth like what, 700 billion?
That's what people confuse. People saying that he's being worth and having the money is two different things.
Well, he can just leverage his
Oh,
assets.
yeah.
He just leverages assets, and now with Neuralink picking
that's
up.
how he continues to produce, right? The
I have-
margins
I
are
have
very
friends-
small. No?
I have friends that I know they have $500,000 in assets, $1 million in assets, and you tell them, okay, buy a new car. I don't have the cash.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah, I don't have
It's
the
all
cash.
tied in things.
In fact, what is the name of this kid? The Beast or Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast.
Right?
Yeah.
He's worth like $1 billion.
Worth $1 billion, but he only pays himself $1 million a year, something like that.
Not
right?
even that.
Not
He
even
said he
that.
has like less than $2,000 in his bank account.
Less than 2,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
My God.
And he's giving
He's
away
like-
tons of money. I think
Not only
there's-
that, it's like
there's-
he has to, because it's in growth mode, so he's everything, any cash that comes in, he has to be putting back and reinvested.
This is where this is where leveraging comes in at. So the rich, they understand this and they do this. They adapt this practice. Now, do they have access to their money? I believe they do still, even though they claim they don't. Right? It's a
You don't need to have access to the money. With that money, you can have the best loan available.
Yeah.
You have a queue of banks willing to partner with you for whatever, your wedding. Like, what was the guy who did the wedding in Venice?
I don't know, so many.
No, the guy,
Which
the
one?
New York Times owner, the Amazon. Bezos.
Bezos.
Basically.
He made the wedding in Venice and he expended a humongous amount of money.
Oh yeah.
And as a wedding
Wait,
gift. he
Venice,
gave-
Italy or Venice, California?
No. These are the people who love Venice, California, but their vacations are in Venice, Italy. Okay.
Okay, got
I
it.
mean, you talk with the left hand and you operate with the right hand. And he
In Venice, really?
Venice, yeah, and he paid the owners of certain places just to vacate the property for some days,
Right.
so he can put all the
Interesting.
invitees over there.
I don't know if I would.
Sí,
I mean,
sí.
it's a
A
place to
disgusting amount of
visit.
money.
But like a wedding, I would say like Lake Como. Oh.
Why not? If I
it's
have the
beautiful.
money, I can do that.
But it's
I can do it in the moon.
But Venice is like, it's everything is like stretched and it's small and like
And smelly.
that too.
It's
I mean, depends on the
smelly.
season, right? Yeah, but it's different. I mean,
Depends
I don't know
on
for a
summer.
wedding, like for a spot on a weekend on vacation, maybe to walk.
Well,
a
you know.
wedding. Wow, interesting.
Who knows?
Yeah,
It's smelly.
I know.
In summer, yeah, in summer,
Summer is
some
smelly,
places
yeah.
are smelly. yeah.
You get the smell.
Oh my God, that
But
is.
we went from the
hilarious.
moon to Venice.
Yeah, how we get there?
Well, the moon, there are many projects about the moon. I remember there was a project years ago by the Chinese, Russians, and us, the three of us, just to put a base. In fact, there is a space station, which is International Space Station. I don't see why not. The question is when and who's going to foot the bill.
Correct.
I don't want to foot the bill.
Especially
All right,
right now
so-
where I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
With that being said, the initiatives are part of a larger project to transform the agency under the Trump administration national space policy. I hear policy. Said the goals are designed to establish and ensure American leadership in space. That's called control.
Well, we have the Space Force, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
The-
And so that's
John-
what
John
that's what
Malkovich.
I was talking about early on, right?
John Malkovich make a beautiful
Yeah.
satirical TV show with that thing.
They are
It's-
trying to establish a stronghold out there in space
Right, like in the 70s, right?
and or the space, the moon. Go ahead.
Yeah, when 60s, 70s, when the race,
race
in the middle of
to
the Cold
Russia
War,
and China, yeah.
the race to see who gets to the moon and things
And that
like
was a strategy, apparently, to
Laika the chimp. That was the first.
Was it?
living mammal going to the space was by
From my
the
understanding,
Soviets, and then Yuri Gagarin.
That was a strategy to weaken the economy of Russia, is from what they've said in the past about the
Well, it was a lot of things going on. Russia was going through a lot of stuff. They were saying they have so many nuclear bombs that they didn't have. It was just a lot of BS in each other, right?
Cold War is a chapter for another day.
Correct, but eventually, having a satellite on the moon or a base on the moon, I don't think that, or I don't believe it's a storytelling or a wish. Is something that's going to come to fruition.
No, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. But the ultimate thing is not the base on the moon. The ultimate thing is the colony in Mars. Because when you see like all Elon's companies, right, what they're designed is to have sustained activity in foreign worlds. So, for example, with the what I call Omnibus, his robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Omnibus, I forgot his name.
What you're trying to say is that all the projects that Musk is taking are going out of space. Let's say out of this planet.
Correct.
The moon, Mars, etc.
Being able to
SpaceX.
SpaceX is one, right? But also the ability to build the tunnels under.
Right.
That's to do it over there, right? Because high temperatures, changing climates so drastically on those atmospheres. If you're able to excavate quickly and have machines, right?
Here in Vegas, we have
we do.
We have the Tesla highway underground.
Correct. So when you have the technology, the robots to do that and work nonstop, correct? Then you have the ability to create tunnel systems, right?
Wait.
What
Do we do with the unions?
What unions?
With the robots. If the robots can build, what do we do with the unions?
What unions?
Ooh.
In the space you're talking about?
The robot union.
Ooh.
So
The robot
whoever
union?
owns the robots create a union for the line their pockets a little
that's
further.
polemic.
Now, what do you guys think about
Minimum wage?
the resources on the moon? Right, used as they're going out there to basically mine the moon, right? Gain access to it, control the moon, and then use the materials on the moon.
When you say control the moon, what that means?
Yeah.
Well, the Space Force, right? So if we get there first and plant a base out there,
But that begs the question: to whom the moon belongs?
doesn't belong to anyone yet until we go out there and can take control over it.
What about Antarctica?
Antarctica?
Antarctica.
That's a treaty amongst countries, right?
So at the end, to whom belong the moons? The moon. We will have to reach to
a treaty
consensus and an agreement. We know that the United Nations worth nothing because they never stop a war in their history. But that's a topic for another day. So
This is Mundo talking out loud.
Yeah.
He's thinking out loud. I'm sorry.
yeah,
So my point is that the U.S. we are a powerful country, right?
Well, getting there is a statement of power, achievement. I don't think it's a statement of, we control the moon. We don't even know what is valuable on the moon. Let's start with that.
What was the material?
do we want to control the moon?
What was the material
For what
again that you said?
purpose?
That was
Thorium.
thorium that's supposed to be
Thorium is bad, but this is in the Pacific Ocean, close to Alaska. That has almost the same qualities like uranium. And they
But
can
that's a metal that is
produce.
on Earth. It's not on the moon.
There's no contaminant.
That's the point, right? So
That's
go
for
there,
another.
control it, and
But
bring
control
it back.
for what? It's like you tell me, hey, I'm going to go and control the Sahara.
Use it as an
Okay.
energy source, as a power.
But be
Battery.
careful, Mr. Sanchez, with that one. Because when the American-Mexican War, or Mexican-American War, in 1847, 48, the Mexicans were comfortable ceding all those pieces of desert to gain peace, named Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, because they were pieces of desert and land. 50 years after that, we discovered that they have a lot of minerals but up to that point was worthless for the people of their time. Yeah, and nowadays we don't see the value of the moon, the Sahara, Antarctica.
I mean, like, there's people that own land on the moon. I mean, 20 years ago, they were selling land on the moon, and people were buying it, paying millions of dollars.
I heard about
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. They have.
So
land
you
there.
bought something that you cannot get to.
Right.
Exactly. That's kind of.
But in hopes of their legacy get there, right? So.
But be careful because there are many
It's more valuable as a port, like
Is
of
this
entry or
material-
port stop
taxes,
to go to other places.
my friend. Taxes.
Therium has the similar properties of uranium. Is
Yeah.
it more valuable than lithium?
It's a different thing because
Yeah.
with Therium allows you
Different.
to produce nuclear energy. Is much less contaminant, and there are already projects undergoing studying how to make, let's say, mini nuclear plants. When I say mini nuclear plants, you can have a nuclear plant at
Correct.
the corner of
So
your house.
with you need way more
Ethereum.
lithium to manage the supply or the demand. I'm sorry, the demand of software and electrical components
car batteries.
and car batteries and things like that. Rather than Ethereum, you need a small amount, but the ability to produce high amount of energy. It's two different things.
Exactly. Now, who would profit more from that resource?
Therium,
Yes.
the humankind.
Elon Musk.
You're talking about
don't think
who's
so.
going to put the money to take it out and use it and create electricity that ultimately you can sell to the people. It will be non-contaminant and very inexpensive. So there are projects about Ethereum, and well,
We're powering.
we'll see.
We're powering Teslas. We're going to be powering robots with what? Lithium.
I mean, he
cobalt.
already had those gigafactories and for energy as well, producing energy. He already is on that, but he's not using Ethereum. It's a different
what
system.
Xzabko is talking, Xzabko is.
I'm talking about the material.
There are projects to create a miniature nuclear central in your car, right? A little thing
Endless
that
energy.
you can put in your car, and you will like our aircraft carriers. They are all nuclear.
Power small town.
You don't need fuel. The Navy already has the technology,
Right.
to power their ships. I don't know why we are not powering our cars with that.
Right.
Ethereum is the option because
Because-
the same thing.
If you can
The same thing
stabilize
you used
it.
to say about the internal combustion engines.
Indeed.
If you read articles in the
Blew up, too.
1890
They still can
something,
blow up.
2000s, they used to call them the auto bombs because they were feared that how are you going to put kerosene or gas or these things?
Yeah.
They explode. But the
But it
Navy,
has
the Navy
certain
tried
measure
for
of
more than 60 years, and we have the Navy. Many ships of the Navy running on nuclear energy.
Right.
So Ethereum is the clean choice. Let's
So
say.
what do we do when we understand that there's a deadly problem? We come up with a solution to minimize the risk of it blowing up or
Well, Ethereum is apparently, I say apparently because there are many people studying the whole thing and how to commercialize it and make it feasible. Ethereum is one of the solutions.
right.
Right. So, Ethereum, lithium, who knows, right?
Cobalt.
So, why you don't put your comments down below? Tell us what you think about it, and we would like to share those thoughts with you guys in our next episode of Market Boys with Edmundo, Xzabko, and Andres. Stay tuned.
See you
guys.
next week.
See you next week.
time.
Bye bye.